The world was silence in sleep, but in the realm of dreams, the echoes of spectral music danced with a dark rhythm, a whispering tempo of terror that shook dreamers awake to a dawning reality of their own end. Such was the revenge of a fallen dancer turned paraplegic who planted his bitter seeds of death through the dreams of those who once taunted him. Inside this dreamscape battlefield, Darcy and Archer, navigators of nightmares, found themselves in a relentless pursuit of the spectral dancer. They waltzed through rock, swung through jazz, and grooved to rap, but their steps soon came to the urgent and somber beat of tango, the dance of death. With their hearts pounding in rhythm with the music, they knew the key to end the haunting was at hand, but also the terrifying knowledge that a single misstep would marry them to their end. In this dance of fear and bravery, they found their stage, their audience, the echoes of spectral music, and a deadly dancer awaiting their final number. In an ordinary world, there's an extraordinary duo, Darcy and Archer, the dream detectives. This twosome has an extraordinary knack for detecting and decoding the most enigmatic dreams. This time they are faced with a unique case. A 10-year-old boy who manifests his imaginary animal friends in the real world to repel the bullies that lurk in his school corridors. The story begins when, one rainy day, the bullies are taken aback by a spectacle that defies their understanding. Wild, fantastical animals chase them away, protecting the boy. Rumors circulate, sparking interest in both the mundane and supernatural realms. Our intrepid detectives, Darcy and Archer, undertake the challenge to decipher the reality behind these imaginary guardians. Each twist and turn in the investigation unravels a new depth of the boy's resilience and creativity, painting a compelling tale of friendship, courage, and the power of imagination. In a realm of dreams and nightmares, there existed a malevolent entity known as the Evil Sandman. Once an honored sleep-dust caretaker, he had been banished for tainting the dreams of the innocent with unspeakable horrors. Enraged, he stole a handful of the sacred dust and descended upon the vulnerable dream cities, spreading nightmares as you might scatter seeds. How defenseless are those who slumber! Most certainly so, thought Darcy and Archer, two courageous dream guardians, as they watched the Sandman unleash madness with his stolen dust. For the very first time, the city's inhabitants slept and were plagued by terrifying visions, their worst fears materializing into reality. The Sandman reveled in the chaos, growing more powerful with each passing moment. However, Darcy and Archer would not stand aside and see their beloved city crumble. With resolved hearts, they ventured into the terrifying labyrinths of their own twisted nightmares, ultimately going toe-to-toe with the evil Sandman himself. Can they overcome the darkness to rid their city and themselves of fears? And will they awaken from these nightmarish dreams, or will they become victims forever trapped within their own paralyzing horror? In a world where ordinary humans cannot distinguish between reality and dreamy celluloid spectacles, we find our heroine, Darcy, an agent of the Dream Police, accompanied by her trusted sidekick, Old Rusty. Her mission, to keep the balance between fantasy and reality. One day, while exploring an eerie abandoned theater, Darcy stumbles upon an old black-and-white soap opera, playing to an audience of empty seats. The only spectator? A solitary organist, animating the vintage drama with his hypnotic music. Ignoring the organist's pleas to let the soap opera finish, Darcy, with a defiant blast from Old Rusty, shatters the serenity. As the organ scattering into splinters, the characters on screen turn, agog at the source of the interruption. With a swift move, her magical cuffs are snapped around the organist's wrists, and the challenge begins. Darcy invites the bewildered actors off the screen, and they step into a world of color and chaos. For them, it's a queer Thursday afternoon, in a place unfamiliar, objects and sounds alien. Darcy flashes her glowing badge at the startled black and white characters, commanding, "Back to your own dreams till nightmares end," and the theater plunges into an eerie silence. Imagine awakening in a world of darkness, with an evil spirit, a shadowy specter, lurking in the corners of your mind. In this case, the darkness is not a haunted house, nor an abandoned lighthouse, but the comatose mind of Frankie North, a dangerous hitman whose consciousness has been hijacked by a malevolent entity. Two heroes, Darcy and Archer, are put on a mission to save him. As they delve deeper into Frankie's memories, echoes of gunshots, screams, and regrets, they unearth a chilling revelation. Frankie is not merely a victim, but a menace in his own right. This revelation leaves Darcy and Archer with the most disquieting question. Is it better to banish the darkness, waking the hitman, and unleashing his murderous gifts upon the world again? Or is it better to leave this game of internal chess unfinished, eventually losing the man to the deepest realms of his subconscious and his ever-waiting, insidious opponent? In a realm swathed in the quirkiness and spontaneity of dreams, we meet Darcy and Billy C., bearing their infinity cuffs imposed by Captain Thalmus. These cuffs, in the whimsical shape of infinity symbols, bound these unlikely partners in their mission to navigate the unpredictable subconscious world. They are accompanied by the reticent Old Rusty, a lively character who brings a hearty dose of hilarity to their interactions. Their mission is simple, or so it seems: locate Georgie, an 8-year-old boy dressed in a red and white striped polo, lost in the chaotic dreamscape. The duo, initially unimpressed with the mission, set off in the vast, sprawling expanse of the Eternal Quarter arcade. Yet, as they travel further into the psychedelic labyrinth of arcade games, they discover there's more to Georgie than they initially presumed. Unwittingly, they step foot into a whirlpool of unexpected twists, turns, and one boy's fantastical world that tests their teamwork and sends them on an unforgettable escapade. It all started when Darcy and Archer found this weird, ancient book inside their frat house. The book told a chilling tale of a vengeful spirit of a frat brother who tragically died, seeking chilling retribution by hosting a fatal feast. Unable to shake off the eeriness of the story, they couldn't help but notice the uncanny resemblance to their recently deceased brother, Garrett. Before they could comprehend the terrifying implications, they started to witness strange occurrences. Their brothers, all oblivious to the haunting presence among them, became obsessed with throwing a grand celebration in Garrett's honor, a feast eerily reminiscent of the one mentioned in the book. Darcy and Archer, desperate to prevent the impending doom their frat brothers were unknowingly inviting, found themselves fighting against time and an otherworldly power. As the party began, Garrett's spirit weaved an illusion of merriment all around, overshadowing the lurking threat of death. The brothers, lost in the festivity, ignored Darcy and Archer's frantic warnings. As the night grew darker, so did the wrath of Garrett's spirit. The laughter and cheer turned into horrified screams one by one as the brothers succumbed to the vengeful spirit's rage. In the light of the dawn, the frat house was silent again. Darcy and Archer were the only ones left untouched by the spirit, shouldered forever with the tragic consequence of their deceased brother's fraternal reckoning. Underneath the light of the waxing moon, Darcy and Archer stepped onto the hallowed grounds of their old school, now eerily quiet. The familiarity of their youth was tainted by an unseen specter, a chill that cut deeper than the crisp night air. The essence of their beloved teacher, Miss Holloway, who was forced into retirement, seemed to permeate the once joyful halls as they ventured deeper into the silent building. The concrete corridors echoed with an ethereal discourse that Darcy and Archer could only decipher as their names. The spectral whisper beckoned them towards their old classroom, which was bathed in an otherworldly glow. Before them, The spirit of Miss Holloway flickered at her old desk, frantically scribbling an endless array of lessons on the blackboard, the chalk screeching in the supernatural silence. She turned, her ghostly gaze meeting theirs. They had escaped her lesson once, but they wouldn't this time. They were about to get an education that could last an eternity. Imagine a world where the innocence of cartoons carries a sinister edge, and a man's creations become his tools of vengeance. Meet Gil Robinson, a genius animator ousted from the very studio he had an integral role in building. The studio's executives stole his beloved creations, exploiting them for their own gain. But Gil has a power unbeknownst to them. He can step into the realm of dreams, aided by the spirit of his characters, and extract retribution from those who wronged him. Each night he delivers poetic justice, as the dreamscape turns into a frightening toon labyrinth for the executives, where the cartoon gags aren't so funny, and the slapstick humor takes on a deadly earnest. As the moon rises, they start their sleep, unaware that they are moments away from a grim retribution orchestrated by their once trusted animator, Gil, the animation avenger. After all, in the realm of dreams, his pen is the most potent weapon. Leaving a trail of slack-jawed executives who tremble at the thought of sleep, Gil paints a nightmarish portrait of retribution in broad strokes of cartoon mayhem, turning laughter into shivers, proving that sometimes imagination can indeed be the sweetest form of revenge. Every night as Darcy and Archer fell into their slumbers, something spine-chilling occurred. Their dreams, once filled with joy and tranquility, started to transform. They were haunted by a figure, the ghostly film editor. Poltergeist or apparition, they were uncertain, but its ethereal presence inside their dreams was palpable, their happiness frail and fleeting, as he meticulously cut and edited their dreams, carving his mark of eternal discontent. The world was their stage, but he was the director in this grim performance, imposing his sinister rewrites on their dream reality. Their fight for freedom started like a suspense thriller with a dash of horror. At first, they tried to resist, tried to break free from the malevolent influence of the ghostly film editor. Scene by scene, cut by cut, their struggle became the feature presentation in the theater of their subconscious. Understanding that they would never escape the editor's chilling grip, they realized they had to outsmart him. Darcy and Archer began wandering deeper into the dream maze, playing along, countering the editor's every plot change and narrative shift. The tension mounted. Would they be able to release him from his editing desk, liberate themselves from this horrifying spectacle? Not all dreams may come true, but surely all nightmares must end. As sleep approached each night, Darcy and Archer whispered their mantra. You can't escape the edit, but you can rewrite the script. In the gloomy corners of the cerebral world, ensnared, laid the mind of a once-hailed genius, Bobby Traps. Walled in by the twisted terrains of his creation, his boundless creativity distorted into imposing obstacles, he yearned for a death he had skillfully designed himself to evade. Darcy and Archer, armed only with unyielding resolve, ventured into this abyss of morphing perceptions. In this chilling game of intellect, every fact was laced with deception, and every reality a mere illusion. Mirroring riddles emerging from the depths of Bobby's unconscious mind, the traps grew more intricate, more sinister, clawing at their sanity. Yet they plunged deeper, their mission not only to save Bobby, but to restore the balance of a realm he had once mastered. Like a fever dream, reality devolved into nightmares, with the line between living and dying blurred. They found themselves echoing Bobby's haunting words, fighting the unthinkable. Who on earth would beg for death and call it honor? As they faced a climax of life or death intellect, the complex web of Bobby's psyche pushed them to their brink. And in the face of this chilling duality, they experienced a newfound understanding of existence, living and dying. The eerie enigma of booby traps may have felt like an eternal nightmare, but it embodied the most human, the most painful battle of all, the right to choose one's fate.